Can you hear me?
Hey guys.
Hey Tyler.
Sorry I'm late. Having a hard time connecting.
1 second. Paul's having a sound issue.
I can't hear you.
Try adjusting your output settings.
Can you hear me?
It's the gear icon.
Tyler, are you on hotel Wi-Fi?
Yeah, what?
Never mind, I got it. I just had to change a few settings.
Great. Maybe we can get started then. Oh, great.
I think your mic is pushing up your speakers.
My mic?
Do you have headphones?
You want me to put them on?
No, I want you to smell them. No, I want you to put them on.
Sounds like someone just joined.
Hey guys, it's John. Hey, have I missed anything yet?
No, it would have been nice for you to join the rest of us, but we'll see you when you get home. Tyler, do you have that financial report?
Well, it's been the last few weeks updating our books, and I got some great news for you. Schedule from this point last year. We had a great Q1. Am I frozen?
Hey, Trip, I think we lost
That's
Tyler.
the video, not
know.
us, by the way.
I know, we lost Tyler.
Hey guys, it sounded like Tyler was cutting out.
We know, John. All right, while we wait on Tyler, why don't we go over Okay, everyone, I know some of you have to leave soon, but I just wanted to go over a couple of the queries before. Okay, excuse me. My wife's out of town this week. Daddy's, I'm so sorry. Okay, you just spilt grape juice on the carpet. Daddy is in a meeting. Let's reschedule and let's just do a regular old conference call, okay? Paul, can you have David send out the 9-digit passcode?
I heard you.
Yeah, he's been here the whole time.
All right, everybody. I'll see you later.
All right. Without further ado, we have a whole bunch of folks that are logged on. We definitely really appreciate it. My name is Noah Jacobs from CyberPower, and I'm super excited to have some vendor friends join us on a different type of Zoom experience. As I promised, no PowerPoint, but we do have a special guest at the end. So to get us started, I'd love to introduce Jeffrey Jansen from PC Corp, who is also president of Ingram's Trust X Alliance. Just for folks letting you know, feel free to ask questions or anything like that. We do have teammates that are on the line that will be able to answer them. And if we can't get back to you right away, I know the Zoom platform allows us to answer the questions by email later on today. So without further ado, Mr. Jeffrey Jansen, off to you. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Noah. I just want to welcome everybody to today's discussion on the ever-changing landscape of the Canadian IT channel. As Noah mentioned, my name is Jeffrey Jansen. I'm the Vendor Relationship Officer here at PC Corp, and I'm also the Regional President for the Ingram Micro Trust X Alliance Advisory Council. I am thrilled, and I really wanted to put a special welcome out to our vendor guests. So obviously we have Noah Jacobs from CyberPower, we have Jay Goodwin from D-Link, we have Scott Mann from Scale Computing, and we have Hillary Root from StarTech. As Noah mentioned, we are going to have a special guest after our conversation, so please stay on the line for that. We're hoping to keep the conversation to about 40 minutes or so, and that leaves us lots of time to introduce our special guest. I guess really what I wanted to do just to frame this is just to remind ourselves how fortunate we are just to even be on this call. Because by being on this call means we're all still in business and we're all still working. And I mean, this is really part of the transformational part of what's happened over the last 5 months. Can you imagine just it's 5 months ago that this all started happening? And the fact that we're able to still be in business, help our businesses and help our clients not only maintain themselves, but potentially adapt. And being considered an essential service, I thought was an absolute privilege and also validation that our industry is critical to other people's industry and actually our society in general. And at the same time, I think it's also a responsibility for us to take this position that we have and help others. So that's why I'm really excited about today, because what we're going to do is we're going to talk to some of our vendors and understand how they're addressing this new landscape and seeing how they can assist us. So I'm just going to jump right into it, and we basically just have 4 questions that we had for everybody. And Noah, I'm going to start off with you. What does business look like for CyberPower now, and how has it changed over the course of 2020?
The funniest thing, I'm sure I'm going to get a FedEx or a UPS package right when I'm on the call. It always happens whenever you're on a call. But thank you again so much for everybody joining us today. And Jeffrey, thank you again for this. It's amazing to see how many companies have been so flexible in this large, home project for 2020. For example, we've gone from one company with one office to maybe a satellite office to now over 30 plus remote offices with 30 plus new wireless networks, cable, computing, and power protection needs. The workload for the IT staff has jumped to levels never seen before in our channel. This Office 2.0 project is probably going to be the status quo for a while, with some folks never really returning to the standard office environment. We might be joking with each other in a few years saying, hey, remember when we used to drive to work, spend 45 minutes driving down the 401 or the 417 or a Deerfoot Trail, going into a building, working on a laptop all day to get back in your car to do an hour and a half drive going home. It kind of reminds me of when we used to take pictures on our camera and go down to Farmer Pre or Shoppers to get them developed. So I think we're definitely gonna be looking back at this in a couple of years in a different light. Regardless how your team is working, I want to let everybody know, our channel partners and distributors, that CyberPower is here making sure IT systems, networks are backed up and performing optimally with power protection and conditioning. One of our biggest things is we want to be everybody's ultimate ally in power.
Excellent. Okay, well, thanks very much for that. Jay, what are you finding with D-Link?
Well, thanks, Jeffrey. Like most people in Canada these days, our D-Link team are still working from home, working from their living rooms or their basements, their backyards, their kitchens. Everybody's adapting to the new norm. And it's actually been quite impressive, and it's been a positive process at this point, at least. As far as what the customers are saying, and what we're seeing a trend in is we're seeing a lot of people looking for remote management. And out of that need for remote management, we're seeing a lot of requests for cloud networking managed solutions. Security is super important. How do you manage your network when you're at home? How do you do it safely and securely? Customers are asking, how they can have, secure access to their data back at their data centers and their offices, requiring a VPN connection, for example. We've seen a shift in spending priorities. This shift has resulted in, some projects being canceled or delayed. However, a number of new opportunities have come up. There's still lots of opportunity out there. It's just not where we've seen them traditionally. The big thing is trying to identify the shift in spend application opportunities. Budget scrutiny is a major focus right now, as revenues are down in the private sector and tax revenue is down, which supports public sector. But we believe at D-Link that we're positioned quite well in this market today, as we're a better choice of more of a value offering, providing a check mark in all areas of technology infrastructure. D-Link offers, best-in-class layer 2 and layer 3 PoE switching, our DSR VPN security routers or IP cameras, as well as our Nucleus Cloud switching and wireless platforms. We've actually been in Canada for over 30 years now. We've got a local team of 75 people strong. At D-Link, we're very confident that we can help every vertical hit their technology goals at a much lower cost investment. It's never been more important than now to partner with a company like us.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Jay. Scott, I'm going to kick it over to you. And how's business looking like for you guys now, and what has changed over the course of 2020?
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting to hear the different vendors speaking about the same situation that we're all in right now, and very different outlooks on it, but all very similar perspectives at the same time. And for us, just to preface, Scale Computing, we're a hyperconverged platform. So our product's HC3, and what HC3 does is it's the integration of server, storage, and virtualization. So from our perspective, what's changed is we're talking on the data center side. And when we're talking data center, what's changed there, there's been a pretty massive transformation. And we're seeing very different needs evolving over the course of everything that's happened in the last 5 months. And we're also seeing difference in buying habits as well. I mean, entering into 2020, IT budget looks very different than it does halfway through 2020. And IT spend, most CIOs have taken a shift in their IT spending models, and they're kind of in that emergency cost optimization model. So they're prioritizing their investments, and the key thing is that they're focusing on operations that keep the business running. So now you think of everything that these organizations are going through, and you can kind of think of their needs evolving as we progress through the stages that we've been going through. And the first stage when everything hit was, that reactive stage. So organizations reacted to what happened, and this immediate need for remote access of company data. So all of a sudden, users are now all working from home. They can't get into the office, but we still need to keep operations running. So we saw this mass purchase, back in March, April, this mass purchase of end user laptops. We saw a lot of shortage in laptops and other hardware available because everybody needed to outfit all of their employees. And then we needed them to we essentially needed to extend out our networks, like Jay was talking about. So we're extending out our networks to some locations that might not be as secure, like the home offices that we're all working from right now. And while that stage is kind of passed, and there was really that initial work from home surge, where we're in right now is kind of in that reinvent stage. And the big buzz term in the data center space, and I think across the board, is business resiliency. And it's kind of an evolved term of business continuity, but how do we keep our businesses resilient to another surge of something happening in the fall and the winter, or anything else that could happen? So now what companies are looking to do in today's economy is they're looking to harden those work from home strategies. So what they did in initial reactive phase with outfitting their end users, we're now looking to harden those strategies and bring in all the appropriate policies and proper security measures to protect them against anything that they might now be vulnerable to throughout that first phase of it. So looking for those VDI implementations, and now you think of data security and the evolving needs of data security. Our data is now moving everywhere. Our data now is not in the four walls of the data center, and part of our our hybrid cloud strategy. Our data now could be on a beach somewhere in somebody's laptop. It could be halfway across the world. It's that work from anywhere environment. So companies are looking to build out that new business resiliency plan. And I think the more important thing is exiting everything that's happening, and how the data center is transforming is what we're looking at now. They're rebuilding, and they're rebuilding for operational innovation. So today, companies need to address what they're going to need in the future, and we're putting a lot more requirements on IT. So they're requiring integrated solutions to streamline those operations, and cost-effective solutions that protect all of those multiple different layers. And I'm sure we'll get into it a little bit later, but that is what the HC3 value prop, that's what we provide.
Yeah, that's a really good point, in the sense that, it's amazing that you see that there's so many different phases that are happening so quickly, and it's all about pivoting and adapting, as the title suggests, and how to identify what stage individual businesses are at and how you can help them at that stage. So if you have people early on who were just looking to find a place to work and just to get their people back online, that was part one. But now it's talking about hardening and optimizing those types of things. And I guess, Hillary, you've always been in that space of being able to help people optimize and become more productive. So how have things been for StarTech for you in 2020 so far?
Yeah, so same thing with us. We're all working from home. And, in March, I feel like when, it was suggested that people work from home, most people I talked to were ecstatic. They were ecstatic that they wouldn't have to fight the traffic. I can feel that. Ecstatic that they could work in their pajamas. They were ecstatic until they didn't realize they had the right technology to keep them connected. And that's really where StarTech.com comes into play. We're able to help our clients stay connected with a proper workstation, with things like universal laptop docking stations that work with anybody's laptop, monitor mounts, and almost every type of cable and adapter you can think of. And then in April and May, we saw the focus shift to the back office with server racks and cabinets, SFP transceivers, and KVM switches. And this really was to support all the people dialing into the office because, you know, their current infrastructure wasn't designed to handle that kind of volume. And then now in the summer, as we round out month number 5, we're seeing that folks need to make their home office more comfortable. And some companies are even offering their employees a budget to outfit their home office. And I think this is exciting. You know, this presents us an opportunity as a community to solve our clients' problems. And I can tell you from personal experience, for the first 4 months, I was sitting in a kitchen chair, and it was not great for my back. And I've never had problems with my back in the past. So what I did was I set up my home office to be really similar to my work office. So I've got a dual monitor mount, or dual monitors on a StarTech.com dual monitor mount. I have a StarTech.com sit-to-stand workstation, and I'm standing most of the day. So I've added a StarTech.com anti-fatigue mat, and I find that extra padding helps keep my back feeling good and my feet and my knees feeling good as well. But I feel like, you know, throughout this, 5 months and counting, the needs of our clients change weekly, sometimes even daily. But whatever they need, I want the community to know that I will be here to support them along with the StarTech.com team to make sure that we make it out on the other side altogether.
Fantastic. Thanks so very much, Hillary. And again, it is amazing how, again, each one of us has jumped in both feet to helping identify and then address our clients' needs and reaching out. And I have to say, I've been just thrilled with how vendors have been making it easier for us to navigate some of these changes, which brings me to my second question. And that's really knowing that we're all in different pockets right now, and in some cases playing different spaces, how do you see all of us vendors tied together in this particular call? And maybe I'm going to throw it out to Jay first.
Sure. Well, besides us all being real keeners as salespeople, all of us, offer a ton of value and care about our customers' technology needs. All 4 vendors offer value-based solutions which help customers achieve their technology goals. All 4 vendors are extremely focused on small, medium, and enterprise solutions that support back office applications. We want our customers to win. That's the bottom line, right? We help facilitate what the customer is trying to do on their network, on every level. D-Link, CyberPower, Scale, Computing, and StarTech have applications that need to work together seamlessly and flawlessly. And each technology helps facilitate that cohesiveness. The way each of our companies are set up is a nimble approach, allowing us to pivot and provide either standard solutions or customized solutions. So, everyone is happy.
Wonderful. I'm just going to throw it back to Hillary. Hillary, what have you found as far as what brings us all together?
Yeah, so CyberPower has all your power needs for the back office, the server room, and the home office. And we can see where that would be relevant now with so many people working from home. And I think people often overlook their power needs for their home office. But, I would encourage that just the same way as you would protect your TV, you need to protect your computer equipment as well. When we look at Scale, Scale is a leader in the hyper-converged infrastructure space. And their platform will allow you to do more with less. Ultimately, stretching your IT budget, which is so important in today's economic climate. And then D-Link, they have security cameras, so they'll keep your belongings safe. And Jay told me a pretty cool story, so I'm hoping he'll share that one again today. But we can see where, where this would be important. They also have all your networking products that will allow you to connect more than one device to a single internet feed. And we can see where this would be essential in every office, whether it be a small dental office or even a large school district network. And then StarTech.com, last but not least, we bring it all together with all the connectivity pieces that you need to stay connected, bridging your old technology with your new technology. And our tagline is hard to find, made easy. So I always tell people, if you're having a hard time or trouble finding something, reach out to me and the StarTech.com team and we can help.
Fantastic. Noah, what do you find brings us all together?
Well, I think other than all of us wearing shorts since like early June, it's crazy to think, by the way, you can go the whole summer and get away with wearing a business top and a bow tie for me and shorts. It's just crazy. But each of us are smaller and nimble vendors that are leaders in our own industry. When you are a vendor partner of our size, you and your internal teams can pivot and change direction at a moment's notice. I know we've been using that term pivot and change a couple of times, but with the current health crisis that we've been seeing, hospitals across Canada have recently had a large demand for medical ventilators in a short time frame. Since CyberPower owns and operates our own manufacturing process, we were able to quickly communicate with our factories to source components and move production lines to meet this demand, even modify product to better support their requirements. We were able to work with our channel reseller and deliver more than 12,000 medical grade UPSs in a 6-week window to a Montreal-based end users. So I'm pretty excited by that because I'm sure you've heard in the news a lot about that stuff, but a lot of our UPSs will be used in ventilators that will be found across Canada for this fall, and hopefully the second wave won't be needed, but we're getting prepared.
Yeah, 100%. And Scott, what do you see sort of ties us all together?
I'm gonna play off what I said before. I mentioned that part of the next phase or coming out of everything pandemic is we're kind of in this rebuild phase, and the key of that is an integrated solution. And if you think of an integrated solution, I'll say that we have an integrated solution, and we do, but it's of one component within the infrastructure. And really what ties us all together is that we're all a single piece to an integrated overall solution. And what you need to rely on is having vendors that have these types of relationships that you can trust to build out that infrastructure alongside each other. So while we can do certain components of that infrastructure when it comes to the data center, the remote, the core, the VDI, the backup and recovery aspect of it, that's only one piece of it. You need the networking, you need the power, whether it's in the core data center or whether it's at the edge, and you need all the connectivity and being able to outfit your end users for that work from home life that everybody here on this panel provides a portion of that total integrated solution. So when I say, going back to the question, what ties us all together, it's being able to provide a truly integrated solution, seamless as one vendor, even though we're all separate and we all have our own areas of expertise.
Yeah, you bring up a really good point, and I think all of you do, in the sense that the solutions that we have right now are so complex, and which is a good thing, because if they were super simple, they wouldn't need us. But the fact that there is complexity and there's this interdependency that's required to bring everything together and make everything work together is, I think it's fantastic. And again, having individual organizations who are aware that they can't do the entire solution and willing to partner and willing to work, and of course working with resellers to help create and craft those solutions, I think really is fantastic. This sort of dovetails into the next question that I have, though, and that really is, and we've spoken to it a little bit, what's the secret sauce? Because obviously there's lots of competitors in all of our spaces and for all of our areas. So what's the secret sauce for your organizations that really differentiates you and makes you special? So I'm going to probably start it off with Hillary on this particular one. Hillary, what do you find?
Yeah, so StarTech.com is a Canadian company. We were founded in London, Ontario. And for the last 30 years, we've built a strong reputation for providing high quality products at competitive prices. And what really makes me proud is I always have people tell me how easy we are to work with. And that's awesome. It's awesome that our service model focuses on the customer experience and making it easy. And to support our partners, we offer live chat, so 24 hours a day, Monday through Friday, and we have email and phone support as well. Our website is easy to use and the team is friendly and available to help. You know, sometimes people will say, oh my goodness, Hill, I contact your team all the time. I feel bad. But people shouldn't feel bad. You know, that's what we're there for. So keep it coming. One of the things we do really well is connecting old or legacy technology to new technology. And in today's work from home environment, I've had a lot of people asking me, you know, how can I connect my VGA monitor that I've dusted off in the basement to my USB Type-C laptop? Or, this is a cool one, how do I connect my HDMI TV to my laptop? So people have been really creative when finding ways to stay connected. And that's really where StarTech.com can help. We have all those weirdware type of requests and products. And I often hear partners say, you know, if StarTech.com doesn't make it, it probably doesn't exist, which is really cool. You know, we have a wide depth and breadth of products that will allow you to stay connected. And a really good example is my home office. You know, I've got my StarTech.com laptop docking station. I can use my X1 Carbon with it. My husband can use his Microsoft Surface, and my stepson can use his Chromebook with it. So it really is a universal solution that makes it easy.
Thank you. Noah, what's your secret sauce? And I know
Well,
it's
you
not
know,
just the bow tie.
It's not just the bow ties. I tell you, if I don't wear these things, nobody recognizes me. You know, as I said earlier, we strive to be the ultimate ally in power. Whether it's helping our resellers with bid pricing starting off at just $1,000 or offering free drop ship for our end users on orders greater than $5,000, we want to be here to ensure everybody's thinking about power protection. In times like this, it's important to think about how work has changed, and power protection starts with every little plug. So I brought a little plug to let everybody recognize what it looks like. As you know, one of my key trademarks is my bow tie. And you know, one of my personal go-to-market strategy is unmatched level of responsiveness. I'm so happy to say that CyberPower has the same level of commitment to the Canadian channel, with the ability of creating bids, offering product configuration, virtual power audits and assessments in a 60-minute window. Jeffrey, as you would know, I've worked with you for many years, and typically my vacation only starts when I get an email or a text from you. But no matter where I am in the world, whether it's on a chairlift in South America or hopping on a plane somewhere, I'm always pretty quick to gain back to my partners.
That's 100%. That is key.
You know, one other thing that really sets us apart is we also offer 3% gem rebate on all of our products to some of probably the best warranties in the UPS business of 3 to 5 years, including the batteries. And one thing that blows my mind is our DOA policy via distribution is actually 12 months. So if something goes wrong with the unit within the first 12 months, we'll work with distribution and get that taken care of. So we have unmatched service for a world-class group of Canadian IT resellers.
Excellent. Wow. And it's Noah, so that just makes it easy. Scott, how about you? What do you find?
I don't know. I better get the same response as you got from Noah. I think there's so many different ways I can go with this question, but if I was once asked, well, like, what's the one word that defines you guys and your value prop and your solution? And I think that one word is simplicity. And everything from the core of the foundation of our solution, we've based simplicity as they transcend through everything within our organization. We want to be easier to work with. We want to be an easier platform to be able to set up and manage. Our architecture is much more simple to make it substantially more efficient. And by being more efficient, it's going to make it more it's going to make it more cost effective as well. So simplicity is a key to it. And HE3 is, while we're seen as just that data center solution because it's hyper-converged, and when you think hyper-converged, you think data center, core data center. But when I say simplicity, I mean going beyond the data center too. We can do the core data center, but in today's world, I mean, I think Gartner said the amount of data center that's being sold actually isn't for core data center. Data center is being sold outside of the data center. It's being sold for remote offices, which is something that, because of the simplicity of our solution, we can get a versatile enough platform to go small enough to replace those single server remote offices, all the way up to the larger, higher compute requirements with NVMe SSDs, GPUs for VDI, and that also talks to the platform that we've developed. You think of it, when you think of HC3, you think of it as a platform. And when I say platform, I mean there's different components of it. You can start with that core data center, or you can look towards some of our other solutions that we've integrated into our platform, like VDI. Maybe you just need a VDI solution right now. Maybe you need something for those core remote offices, and you need a solution to protect all of those solutions, all the data of all those solutions. And that's what HC3 offers. That's what the platform offers. And by, let's just say, addressing those VDI needs today, what you're doing with our solution is you're future-proofing your infrastructure. We talked about needing an integrated solution, but you get that one building block today. And when you need more, as you work towards that operational innovation and you continue to rebuild, you add on more building blocks. That is the HC3 platform. So it's not a take all. It's use what you need today. It'll be more cost effective. It'll be simpler to manage, whether it's a VDI solution or managing your core data center, than any of the other competitors out in the industry, and it'll be more cost effective.
That's fantastic. Thanks for that. And last off, Jay, what do you find as far as your secret sauce at D-Link?
Well, honestly, I think it's the people representing the companies on this panel today that make up the secret sauce that sets us apart. One might say that we're a saucy group of people, but each vendor representative, be it D-Link, CyberPower, StarTech, or Scale, are a brand unto themselves. With Noah and his bow tie. Each one of us has a history of success in meeting the customer's needs, whether it's the end user or the channel, right? So, but D-Link is a value price leader, being about half the cost of our competitors and still providing solid quality networking gear that people can depend on. Our goal is to help our customers save money and hit their technology goals with confidence. Unlike our consumer offerings, we offer a lifetime warranty on our equipment with local live Canadian support, which is indicative of a tier 1 networking vendor. Our business solutions provide solid coverage from the edge right back to the data center. We are very agile in offering assistance with network design as well as implementation services from our engineering team free of charge, making the choice to buy D-Link equipment a worry-free decision. It's kind of funny. A couple of years ago, we had a school district in Manitoba that was having some issues or some problems with theft, with bike theft, and so we had some discussions about how we could help. So this school district bought about 30 of our cameras, and without any install experience whatsoever, installed all those cameras. And within a week, they managed to catch the thief. And the thief, it's kind of funny, came into their school in broad daylight with a courier van. And the name of the courier van was right on the outside of the van with the phone numbers. So the police were, they didn't have any problems finding the courier company at all. And they caught the bad guys. So the moral of the story is that, it's so easy to use our equipment, and, dealing with us will always be a pleasure, of course.
It's a great story. And I love stories like that, because sometimes, we get caught up in the technology in itself and the technical aspects of it. But obviously technology is there to enable people to accomplish a business outcome or solve a problem. And this is an exact example of how technology can solve a problem. So no, thanks everyone for that. I'm going to just round it out with our last question. And again, we talked a little bit about the complexity in our industry and how, we really need the channel, the reseller channel, to help bring together these solutions, deliver them, and support them for our clients. So really, I'm going to just kick it off, and maybe to this one to Scott to start with, but what is the importance to you of the reseller community and the communities that you work with?
Yeah, you kind of started to address that, Jeffrey, with the complexity of it, and it kind of segues off of my last comment about the integration of all of our different solutions. The infrastructure world is a complex beast, and there's, you have to have expertise in a lot of different areas, and that expertise is where our reseller partners come into play for this. Is we rely on you to bring together all of these vendors and integrate that solution together into one seamless experience for those end users. If you think of, you think of the infrastructure in today's world, 5-10 years ago, infrastructure was seen as an IT cost center, right? It was just nobody, no CIO wanted to pay for it. They knew they had to pay for it. It was a necessary evil. In today's world, infrastructure is the core of your organization, but it's the lights that keep on, that keep keep your office running, right? When I walk into my house, I want to walk into the house, flip the switch on, and I want the lights to come on. I don't want to have to go down to the breaker and play around with it to get the lights on. That's your infrastructure. And you shouldn't have to worry. When it comes to my infrastructure in my house, I don't want to have to worry about the infrastructure going down. So you think about my water heater. I rent out my water heater. I have somebody that is paying for that I'm paying to service my water heater if something goes wrong. That's the way you should see the infrastructure in your organization, because that's what resellers are there for. They're there to help you implement it, and they're there to help protect it on the day-to-day. On weekends, when you're on vacation, they're there to take that burden off of your IT department. And the other side of it is IT itself, the IT department, it's kind of becoming more cumbersome. It's becoming everything within the organization, right? We've now kind of merged IT and OT, and there's this whole digital transformation strategy that's going on, where the IT department should be focusing on no longer is just keeping the lights on. They should be focusing on those operational innovations that I talked about. They should be focusing on projects that are going to make your company more efficient, going to improve your customer experience, going to increase productivity, those types of things that actually are value adds. IT should be a value added department within any organization, not a cost center. And that's what's changed in today's world. And my last point is that a reseller in a data center that focuses on data center, they do data center implementations on a weekly basis, maybe daily basis. A single IT department probably does that once every 3 to 5 years. So the importance of having that expertise to rely on, that is the value that the reseller community adds to the equation. Not only am I going to be able to talk about the product, they're going to be able to talk about the product and implement the product and all these other solutions on top of that. And
fantastic. Yeah. And the other part I think to that is the fact that having these strong relationships with partners like you means that we're never there alone, because if we're in a situation and we're in a bind, we have those direct ties back to you, to your engineers, to your entire team to help us be successful with those types of deployments and to make sure the customer gets looked after in a sort of seamless fashion.
You become an extension of our team.
Yeah, 100%. Jay, how about you? I'm gonna kick it over to you. What's the importance of our communities?
Well, yeah, for sure. When we think of the question, we ask ourselves, why are resellers important to dealing? But really, more importantly, what is the opportunity for the reseller? Why would they want to sell dealing? When budgets are tight, especially nowadays, for end users, resellers need to be able to have a value-based solution they can offer to avoid turning customers away. When an alternative, more expensive solution, is being offered. We always say, a lower sales size is better than a zero sales size if it means better customer retention. By offering dealing for business in an RFP situation, you set yourself aside from the rest of the pack on price and solution instead of a race to the bottom with the other big name vendors, with everyone else. We believe the reseller community possess a huge wealth of knowledge and understanding for their customers' requirements and their customers' environments as well. That unparalleled experience is a massive value offering compared to the Amazons of the world, and we acknowledge that. We want our resellers to partner with us, and we offer a program called a VIP Plus program. And this program provides a dedicated portal access to tools for wireless and IP camera design, a data sheet library, use of our managed switch emulator, and we can offer extremely aggressive bid pricing to help you be more competitive. We offer a solid deal registration as well, extended terms for evaluation, and hands-on engineering services, all free of charge.
Perfect. No, and you bring up a good point, because I think a lot of people have looked at Amazon as probably the biggest threat to the IT channel. And I would say definitely it's thanks in large part to the complexity of solutions and the deep relationships that we have with the vendors that PC Corp works with, that has really been able to help us separate it, because while, yeah, you can always go and click and get that widget or that gadget from Amazon, who's going to deploy it for you? Who's going to support it? And who's going to make sure that everything integrates well? Yeah. So no, that's fantastic. Hillary, what are you finding as far as the importance of the channel and the communities around that?
Yeah, so StarTech.com values the reseller communities, especially in today's environment. You know, the reseller communities are doing a great job of keeping us connected through various platforms like Microsoft Teams and Zoom. And it really gives us an opportunity to share what we're experiencing from coast to coast. We can bounce ideas off each other, talk about what's working and what isn't working. And I would even be as bold to say that we're doing a better job now staying connected than we did in the past. And yeah, and I feel like it's because we can be more productive. You know I spent a lot of time prior to COVID getting from point A to point B. So I feel like we've gained all of that time back. Yeah. And the one thing I want to do too is I just want to thank and recognize all the folks who are in charge of coordinating all of these various events. You know, there's a ton of work that goes into it. So I appreciate it. I want to say thank you for all your hard work and allowing us to stay connected.
Hey, well, thank you, Hillary. And I'm just going to end off here with maybe Noah. Noah, yes, what do channels mean to you? And what does the reseller community mean to you?
It's been my livelihood. It's been my career, right? I've had the pleasure of working in the Canadian channel IT space for 20 years, which kind of blows my mind. And I'm super excited now to be part of the CyberPower family, by the way, which is 100% dedicated to the Canadian channel. As you know, we have a very interesting group of folks from all corners of Canada. I think we have over 150 people on the line today from all over the place. So it's so great to see those folks. And I'm so honored to be part of this group. In Canada, we are so fortunate that we have several community groups to be a part of. Whether it's Ingram Micro's Trust X Alliance, Tech Data Select, or Synex's Varnex program. We also have other groups such as the group of micro-age folks, the TMN group, which are great resellers from coast to coast to coast. And we have two really good buying groups out of Quebec. One of them called SM Corp and the other one called Group Millennium Micro. So these communities allow us to support each other, interact, share experiences in this ever-changing landscape for the Canadian IT channel. Having this open bond with others is what builds valuable relationships and give us a deeper sense of belonging. This is one of the main reasons why I've conducted 3 Zoom experiences with multiple amazing vendors in my new role with CyberPower. It's just great to be part of such a tight-knit community. And again, like Hillary was saying, thank you to everybody that has joined the call today. We kept it right at the 40-minute mark, so I'm super excited about it. And you guys might have noticed that we have a guest. Like I told you, we have a surprise guest. No PowerPoint or anything like that, but I'm going to bring Peter on the line. I think I see him there, but he might be muted. So we have a little experience for you folks to end off this call.
If I can start the video.
Yes, please do, Peter. There you are. Awesome.
And can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Peter.
Excellent. As you can all tell, I really am Canadian. I've been here for about 22 years and in Newfoundland. And while I was here, I've sort of set up the Newfoundland Distillery Company with a range of other people who know actually how to make the spirits. We make sort of craft distilled spirits, vodka, gins, a seaweed gin, and rum, using all local ingredients. And we've managed to win lots of awards, slightly to our surprise. The first time we won awards, we thought they'd misdirected the email, but apparently they hadn't. And we make everything because we love making it, and most of all, we really love tasting it and trying to create new drinks that sort of reflect the province and have a bit of the terroir of Newfoundland. And we've just been, I think, very lucky because it wasn't a grand scheme to set up a distillery and start distributing across Canada and hopefully in the US later this fall and in the UK. But it's just every little step has taken us closer and closer. And sometimes we scratch our heads and go, wow, we have got a distillery and we've got lots of booze that we've made. So that's a little bit about us. And apparently, I'm going to show you all how to make a classic Caesar. And I don't know if everybody knows, but a Caesar was actually first devised in Calgary, of all places. And I've just learned that. And, you know, it's a delightful, useful fact that will, you know, hold us in good stead.
It's good for trivia night.
Well, exactly. So now, for me, the key ingredients in a good Caesar are, obviously, you've got to have vodka, or if you're racing, seaweed gin, and clamato juice. And we use a really nice one called Walters, which is all pure, healthy, made in Ontario, and is really sort of delicious. And like all cooking and drink making, the better ingredients, the better it's going to taste. And you don't need to overcomplicate it with lots of horseradish and extra things, or sherry, which is sometimes good to put in. Just keep it simple. So I'm going to keep this quite simple. So you get your glass. I don't know if you can see it all in there. And then we've got a little, I think they called so you can put a rim on. And the best way to do that, you put a bit of lemon around the edge, like that. And then you go sort of like that. I don't like too much rum, but if you like a lot more of the rim, you just soak it in the lemon. And then ice is crucial. Particularly, it's even warm in Newfoundland today. So, you know, I don't know about the rest of Canada and where you are, but hopefully it is. Sorry about the ice noise. And then my big dilemma is always to have seaweed gin, which is absolutely delicious and it's quite good because it sort of adds to the complexity of your Caesar, or the vodka. But as we've just made this batch of vodka with grain grown on the west coast of Newfoundland, and we're having problems keeping it in our glasses, I'm quite into the vodka today. But tomorrow it might be the seaweed gin. You know, it's just, these are big dilemmas of running a distillery. So obviously I don't measure the drinks, but most people say you should measure. The responsible amount is about 1.5 ounces. A proper amount is about 2 ounces. And you can do that if you've got a stopper on, like that, 1, 2. And I'll give it a little bit more because it's a big glass. It doesn't look like a lot. So you just want to make sure you get it in there. So that's the hard work done. And then you want to shake your Caesar mix. And yeah, as I said, Walters, it's great, it's really delicious and doesn't have any MSG because one of the leading Caesar mixes has MSG. And if people are sensitive to things like that, I'd, you know, find an alternative one. And then pour that in. And then you get to the fun part of sort of spicing it up. You've always got to put Lee and Perrins in, and I think substitutes aren't great. I'd stick with the real thing and be generous with that. I think making drinks is always about being slightly generous and slightly overpouring and slightly enjoying. And then I always like a bit of Tabasco, but you might be able to find your own hot sauce that's locally made, and I'd recommend that. I'd put quite a bit of that in. And then you need a bit of ground black pepper. So this isn't a very smart pepper screw. We normally have a smarter one, but that's fine. And normally we have celery salt, but as we've got a whole bar here, I can't see it. So if you've got celery salt, I'll pop it in. And then a garnish, and there are all sorts of garnishes you can use. And really fancy ones are quite hard to store. And because we're sort of running a bar and trying to make it quite easy, we've gone for a spicy bean, which is also made in Ontario, made in Mississauga. And it's just a spicy bean. And the great thing about it is you can put it in your drink, stir it all around, and you've got it. And then a little bit of lemon to finish, which I should have done using the knife. And you're all set. And the great thing now is to have a mouthful and say, yes, cheers. Oh, look at that. You've all got one.
We all got drinks. Cheers.
The joy of Zoom. I like your celery sticks.
Well, thank you so much, Peter. That's great. I'm sure yours taste a lot better than mine, but thank you for...
I'm sure yours are all delicious.
So that wraps...
The one you have in your hand.
So that wraps our call, folks. There will be a follow-up email with information on all the vendors, and I've also put information from Peter and the Newfoundland Distillery Company. Again, I'd like to thank Jeffrey for moderating the call today, Jay from D-Link, Scott from Scale Computing, and Hillary from StarTech. There are prizes, so us vendors will be following up with the winners on that. And I am recording this video, so it will be up on LinkedIn in a day or so. So for your teammates that missed it, they're able to join right then. So cheers, everybody. Have a good rest of your summer. And once again, thank you all for joining the call today. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you all very much. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.